The Youth Development Initiative is pleased to bring you another in our series of video recordings. Today's recording is on youth leaders as wizards. I'm Peter Witt with the Sequor Youth Development Initiative at Texas A&M University, and I'm pleased to be with you. Think of the best youth leaders you've ever encountered. What were they like? What were their best qualities? Were they engaged, creative, caring, compassionate? Maybe they were focused, concerned, impactful, thoughtful. What did they do to make a difference in the lives of young people in their communities? Did they focus on the activities or on the youth participating in the activities? Did they take the time to get to know you? Did they take a holistic approach that included young people, their families, and the community at large? Were they more concerned with your personal growth as opposed to things like winning, titles, and awards? How important are youth program leaders to creating success for youth program participants? Well, it turns out that most effective programs can't be replicated. Program success is based less on organizational models and more on talented leaders or wizards who lead those programs. And programs often go downhill when gifted leaders leave. Thus, we need to do more to understand the qualities and characteristics of quality program leaders. Some years ago, McLaughlin and her colleagues wrote a book called Urban Sanctuaries: Neighborhood Organizations in the Lives of Inner City Youth. In the book, Milbrae and her colleagues identified what they called youth wizards and identified 5 essential characteristics that made these wizards important in the process of youth development in the lives of young people. They said that youth wizards see the potential, not the pathology, in youth they encounter. They make young people not the activity, the priority. They convey a sense of power and purpose for themselves and the youth they work with. They're viewed as authentic due to their genuine interest and concern for youth. And they're motivated to give back to the community in return for what they received from caring adults while they were growing up. Let's discuss each of the characteristics of wizards that McLaughlin and her colleagues identified. The first one was wizards see the potential, not the pathology, in the youth they encounter. Wizards see youth that are not something to be fixed. They're not people to be fixed or remedied or otherwise controlled. Rather, wizards see them as young people with promise, people who are largely ignored, often wrongly perceived, and often badly served. In other words, wizards see something special. Second, wizards make the young person not the activity, the priority. Successful leaders are committed to youth before organizations, programs, or activities. Their primary focus is on working with youth rather than seeing the activities or the programs as the central part of what they're doing. The programs and activities are simply a container within which the important work with young people can occur. And wizards or leaders work at establishing mutual relationships of care, respect, and trust between youth and leaders. Third, wizards convey a sense of power and purpose, both for themselves and for the youth they work with. Wizards have a firm conviction that they can and do make a difference in the lives of youth, from even the bleakest of settings. They do not believe it's too late to save our children and youth. Every child is a child of promise. Fourth, wizards are viewed as authentic due to their genuine interest and concern for youth. Young people and others can see that wizards are real, that they really care about the young people that they're working with. And wizards have the ability to put the needs and interests of youth before their own. They work with young people from the point of view not of self-aggrandizement or honors that they would bring to themselves, but rather to make the lives of young people better. And fifth, wizards are motivated to give back to the community. They give back to honor those who gave to them while they were growing up. In turn, they hope that their caring for youth will lead youth to give back themselves. And thus, in a sense, we have a process of paying it forward. Wizards see their work as a mission and a vocation, not simply as a job or a career in the traditional sense we think of work. It's also useful to note some other characteristics of wizards. Wizards embody the mission of their programs. They try to live according to the values on which those programs are based. In other words, there's not a lot of separation between what they preach and what they do in their own lives. They're concerned about how program philosophy and techniques are put into action. In other words, it's not enough to just have a program philosophy and a good mission and a statement of values. It matters how those actually work out in terms of practice. Wizards also help other staff to develop a sustained passion for their work, a sustained passion that they can undertake, however, without burning out. And while they're hardworking, they also practice self-care for themselves. Practicing self-care is important because it helps eventually to avoid burnout. And burnout can be something that both impedes job performance and could lead quality youth leaders to leave the field. So, what are some things that can be done to practice self-care? Well, first, monitor your own stress level by creating positive ways to deal with stress that occurs. Give yourself permission to undertake the activities and processes that lower stress levels, and deal in positive ways with coworkers and institutional issues. And learn to step back by taking an hour a day or a week off if stress levels get too great. You should also create positive relationships with people you can turn to with issues, problems, and concerns as they arise. In other words, don't try to do it all yourself. And learn to set boundaries, create priorities. How to stay focused on what is important becomes a really important issue in your own development and your own self-care. And finally, avoid the tendency to put your own needs last. By ignoring moderate to high levels of stress and thinking you're a superman or a superwoman. Wizards also help those around them work better with youth. For example, wizards help other leaders remove the word unmotivated from their vocabulary. They see that every young person has the capacity for change, and that opportunity and someone believing in them are often the missing ingredients. Wizards also help others to be effective enablers. They help empower youth, their families, and the systems they deal with. And through youth and families and systems, they help improve the lives of young people. And wizards don't label the families of young people as dysfunctional. They celebrate young people and where they come from. They recognize that being streetwise and possessing survival skills are significant accomplishments from which young people can draw in positive ways. So, here are some final takeaways. Youth leaders can make a powerful difference in the lives of young people. Understanding the characteristics of leaders, particularly those who are wizards, can help us improve our ability to work with young people. Identifying individuals with the characteristics of wizards should be an important part of the youth leader hiring process. And finally, individuals with wizard characteristics should be honored, treasured, and emulated for the difference that they can make in the lives of young people. I hope you've enjoyed today's presentation about youth leaders as wizards. This is another in the series of webinars developed by the Youth Development Initiative of the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at Texas A&M University. This is Peter Witt. I've enjoyed being with you.